we were directed to be given to them by the Office of the President.
Who owned the tank farms?
The tank farms are owned by the Gambia Ports Authority.
Okay. When were you directed to give it over to Gambej?
It was in 2005.
You have the documentation?
Yes.
How long did they occupy the premises?
From 2005 up to date.
They're still occupying the premises?
Yes.
Rent-free?
They are still occupying the properties. However, because they stopped operations some few years back, they abandoned the tanks with us, not paying rent and not responding to all of our letters.
All right. Where did the request to use the premises come from? You said they were related to Euro-Africa. In what way?
Yes, Gambej, the negotiations with us was led by one Mr. Amadou Samba, who actually signed the initial lease agreement with the Gambia Ports Authority.
Yes, what has that got to do with Euro-Africa?
Yes.
Sorry, tell us the link with Euro-Africa.
Yes, yes, that's what I'm telling. The Euro-African, the directive we came from the OP, they were interchanging names between Gambej and Euro-African as if they were one and the same company.
You have the directive?
Yes.
And, okay. Can you read the yes, read the directives.
Yes.
Don't mind.
Letter, Office of the President, State House, Banjul, the Gambia. Managing Director, Gambia Ports Authority, dated November 18th, 2005. Reference OP 268-376-01, temp 75. RDC, Managing Director, Gambia Ports Authority, Liberation Avenue, Banjul. Leasing of GPA bonded warehouse. I want to clarify that the directives were for a bonded warehouse, the tank farm, and then the one for Sebin Emadi and Sons. This one that I am reading first, dated 2005, was for the bonded warehouse. Okay. The letter reads, reference is hereby made to your GPA Confidential 175/36 dated October 28, 2005, Zermain, the above caption. I write to inform you that His Excellency the President of the Republic has granted approval to your request to lease the bonded warehouse previously held in reserve for government to Seaboard Overseas Group. You can now proceed with the necessary action as we look forward to the operationalization of a flour mill in the country and the creation of employment opportunities for Gambian youth. This letter relates to one of the submissions that we made, that a portion of land valued at $18.6 million was handed over to Seaboard Overseas Group. Okay. associate of Gum Petroleum Company Limited. That has
I
been.
understand, that's the letter. But do you have a letter for Gamvej? We will detach it and add it. Do you
Yes.
have a directive for Gamvej?
Gamvej, okay, just a minute.
You put all the claims together?
Yes.
Gamvej, Shaib and Madi and Euro Africa.
And Euro-African, yes, that's right.
Okay. You've told us, okay, if you can't find it right away, you need to provide the documents and separate the documents as well. I think it'd be more useful to us if you separate them.
All right.
Tell us about the claim. You said Gamvej. Do you know who owned Gamvej?
Gamvej, the lease agreement was signed by one Amadou Samba.
You have the lease agreement
No,
in that bundle?
the lease agreement is not part of the attachments here.
Okay, you'll have to provide the lease agreement.
Yes.
What was Gamvej doing? What was their line of business?
They were refining granite oil, processing crude oil into granite oil, and using our tank farms as export.
The tank farms were the ports in Banjul.
Yes, that's correct.
They were operational until when? Do you know?
Until around early 2010, 2011.
Since then, the tanks have not been in use.
No, they have not been in use.
Did you ever agree a rent with them?
Yes.
What was the rent supposed to be?
I would need to come back with the rental figure.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. When did you last write to them? Do you have that information in the pack you have?
No. I know that I will also provide that to the commission, but after my reinstatement, the file was referred to me that over the years, Gamvej never responded to the letters. And given that we know that it was the President's office that directed for the leasing of the tank farms to them, we wrote to the Solicitor General's, Attorney General's chambers for legal advice, as they are currently our retaining solicitors.
And what, you got advice from them?
Not yet.
When did you write?
About 2 months ago.
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I suggest you compile the documents
Yes.
in relation to Gamvej only and don't mix it with the other documents so that it makes more sense to the Commission. Tell us about Shaib and Madi. What is the story behind this one?
Yes. In 2012, we had a letter from Minister of Lands directing us to give one of our properties to Sebin Emadi over a 4-year rent-free period.
4-year rent-free?
Rent-free period to Sebin Emadi, with the deal being that government took over their own sets, so we were asked to compensate them with sets for a period of 4 years, to 2012 to 2016, and in March 2016, GPA received another letter extending the directive to another 3 years.
What did government want with sheds?
The former president, according to the directive, would use those previously utilized Sebin Emadi sets for the storage of imported sugar.
Imported sugar?
Yes.
Government was importing sugar?
The office of the president was importing sugar.
The office of the president was importing sugar?
Yes, definitely.
As the Ports Authority, did you receive any shipping documentation relating to the importation of sugar by the office of the president?
Yes, as per the documents that had already been submitted for Kanilai Family Group.
Okay, now it was Kanilai Family Farms that was
Yes.
importing sugar?
Yes.
And using the sheds?
Yes.
In the name of the office of the president, I suppose?
Exactly, ma'am.
I see. So let me understand, they took over the Shaib and Mahdi sheds,
Yes.
and they then asked you to give Shaib and Mahdi
A set, one of our sets,
Okay.
we were directed to give it to Sebin Emadi and Sons,
rent-free,
rent-free between 2012 and 2016.
and then thereafter for another 2 years?
Yes. Then on the 22nd March 2016, another directive came from the OP to Sebin Emadi and Sons, giving extension from 2016 to another 3 years.
So now so your claim basically is against Kanilai Family Farms, is that my understanding?
Yes, that's correct. For the rent that we have lost from 2012 up to 2016, and now from 2016 to 2019.
All right. What have you computed the rent?
Yes,
What is the rent per year?
we have the total rent here of $2.7 million
For what period?
for the 4 years, April 2012 to March 2016. The one for 2016 to 2018 is not yet computed.
Let me understand. After the ex-president left office,
Yes.
what is the situation with your shed? Is it still being used by Shaib and Mahdi?
Yes, that's correct, ma'am. Because of the letter which came from the president's office, dated 22nd March 2016,
Have you taken any steps to resolve the situation? I presume Kanilai Family Farms is no longer using Shaib and Mahdi sheds.
yes,
Did you investigate? Did you talk to Shaib and Mahdi to at least have a resolution of this issue?
yes, we have started discussions with them. However, they have informed us that we have not officially written to them, but with our informal discussions, the position is they have not yet built their new sets. That is why the government, the OP, extended the rent-free from 2016 to 2018.
I'm talking about currently now. What is the situation?
It is still with them, not yet handed back to us, ma'am.
All right, let's have your documents in relation to this claim, rent for rent. But I suggest that the matter now that the Kanilai family farms is under the receiver, I suggest that you try to find a solution about your sheds. Can we have the documents relating to the rent in connection to Shaib and Imadi? Occupation of your shed rent-free on the instructions of the government. You are also claiming rent against Euro Africa. That's the third claim. All these documents are in relation to Shaib and Mahdi.
No, Shaib and Mahdi and some correspondence on
And?
Gambage plus Euro African. Maybe we need to extract.
I think it's better if you can separate them.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, I request that they separate the documents before I have them admitted. What is the claim against Euro Africa? Give it to him.
The claim against Euro African,
apart from the one in relation to Gamvej, that is.
Gamvej, yes, is that
this one is separate from the claim against Gamvej.
That's right, ma'am.
Right.
It's a separate claim. One of our sheds, we call it Bonded Warehouse 2, we were asked to hand it over to Euro African.
Who asked you to hand it over?
The Office of the President.
Another shed?
Yes.
Okay.
We were asked to hand over one of our sheds to Euro African group.
Hand it over how? Did they pay rent for it?
Yes. No, what happened is government reserved, the Office of the President they reserved one of our sets inside the port for the importations of Kanilai family farms. However, when Euro African wanted a shed and approached us, we clearly informed them that we do not have any shed to give out. It was then that we received an executive directive that the shed reserved for Office of the President should be handed over to Euro African. And we have the executive directive here.
It was to be handed over without rent arrangements? What handed over on what condition?
The initial request was for a short-term arrangement without any, we were not asked, normally we would have tendered or used our own leasing rates. However, we were asked to prepare a lease agreement, to lease it out in a lease agreement, which Euro African never honored any payment on the set.
When was it? From when to when?
It started in August 2008, 11th August 2008.
To when?
Until 2017. It used to be guarded by military officers. It was only after the political impasse that the military were withdrawn from the site.
Even under Euro Africa, it was guarded?
Yes.
So what is the date in 2017?
They left around the 25th January 2017.
So you have your shed back?
Yes, we have it back now.
So what are you claiming in regard to this period?
The rent from 2008 until December 2016.
Is how much?
The amount that we are claiming for is $10 million, 420,103.28 bututs.
You are making this claim against.
We are
against
making
who?
this claim against Euro African Group.
Have you written to them?
Yes, after they left, we did not write to them, but there were a series of correspondences before their departure.
Anyway, put it together and submit it. Let's have the documents together.
Yes.
Are they still in the same batch?
Yes, ma'am. They are in the same batch.
All right. What I suggest, Mr. Tambedu, is that you take a few moments when you step out and separate them,
Okay.
and then we'll take it from you and bring it to the attention of the Commission.
Okay.
That was the last issue that you had, isn't it? Oh, you had a claim for ferry crossings by
Ferry, yes.
Kanilai Family Farms.
That's correct.
And, okay. What is this about, quickly?
Yes, the claim for ferry crossing is, they are all requests related to the President's use of our ferry crossing from Banjul and Bara, transporting vehicles and live animals.
You're saying he did not pay?
No,
Did you compile what he owed?
yes.
Okay, can we have it? Who are you claiming against? The president or Kanilai Family Farms?
No, we are claiming from Kanilai Family Farms.
What is the total?
$25,000 is 840, and CFA 41,600
Those are small amounts.
was the first batch, and there is a second batch here. During 2014, 2015, and 2016, the one for 2014 to total $132,675, and CFA francs 512,800. In 2015, $109,505, and in 2016, $141,185, and CFA francs $105,600. The total for the 3 years, $383,365, and CFA francs 618,400 CFA.
Okay. All right, thank you, thank you. Mr. Chairman, may I have admitted claims by Gambia Ferry Services Management Company Limited with regard to unpaid ferry crossings by the ex-president's companies.
Mr. Tambedu, this memo is from DRGM. Could you tell us what DRGM stands for?
Director of Revenue Generation and Marketing of the Gambia Ferry Services Company.
Thank you. Revenue Generation and Marketing.
memorandum dated 19th September 2017 from the Director of Revenue Generation and Marketing, DRGM, to the Managing Director, Gambia Ports Authority, in respect of amounts owed by Kanilai Family Farm to Gambia Ferries Services Management Company Limited, plus debtors schedule in Dallases and CFA francs for the period 24th June 2016 to 26th June 2016, admitted mark SC 15A. Memorandum dated 24th September 2017 from DRGM to MD GPA in respect of amounts owed by the Office of the President to the Gambia Ferries Service Management Company Limited, plus debtors schedule in Dallases and CFA francs for the period 7th January 2014 to 29th December 2016, admitted mark SC 15B. Okay, I think, do you want me?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I believe those are your claims that you
Yes,
have. We still have to have the documentation, which you have to separate.
Otherwise we will never have.
I have no further question for Mr. Tembidu, Mr. Chairman. I don't know whether you have questions.
One of them. Do you want us to carry it? It's up to you. Do you need the break? Very well, you may leave. Thank you very much, Mr. Tambil.
Thank you.
Yeah. At this point, we will rise for 10 minutes.